Welcome everyone to the Times of India Social Impact Summit 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, when I look into this room and I see my wonderful audience members, I actually don't just see audience members. What I see in front of me are innovators, are disruptors, are changers, are people who actually care.
The event began with a warm welcome by Mr. Sivakumar Sundaram, CEO Publishing and Executive Director of BCCL. Next up, the Union Minister of Road Transport and Highways and also the chief guest of the event, Shri Nitin Gadkari, addressed the gathering.
Social impact ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण शब्द है और हमारे लिए बहुत आवश्यक है। 3 इम्पॉर्टेंट फील्ड्स है जहां हमें विशेष कार्य करने की आवश्यकता है। उसमें से इथिक्स, इकोनॉमी, इकोलॉजी एंड एनवायरनमेंट। सब काम सरकार नहीं कर सकती है और इसलिए स्वाभाविक रूप से सोशल कॉन्शियसनेस, सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड सोशल अवेयरनेस अगर समाज में निर्माण करना है तो ऐसे कार्यक्रमों का बहुत उपयोग है। मैं थोड़ा सा केवल इसको जोड़ना चाहूँगा। मैं राजनीति में हूँ, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का अध्यक्ष भी रहा हूँ। मैं बहुत लोगों को मैंने कहा था, हर एमपी और एमएलए को, कि तुम एक सामाजिक प्रकल्प, शैक्षणिक प्रकल्प, सेवा प्रकल्प करो। पर कुछ लोग करते भी हैं, पर मैं एक पॉलिटिशियन करके आपको मेरा अनुभव बताता हूँ। मैं केवल सामाजिक काम करता हूँ, मुझे कोई चुनाव में प्रचार करने की ज़रूरत नहीं। मैं 3 बार मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट रहा हूँ और जो अच्छा काम होता है उसको ना पोस्टर छापना पड़ता है, ना कुछ खिलाना पड़ता है, ना पेपर में एडवर्टाइजमेंट देनी पड़ती है, ना कटआउट लगा, मैं लगाता ही नहीं। ऊपर से लोगों को बोलता हूँ ज़रूरत होगी तो वोट देना, नहीं तो नहीं देना, आपकी इच्छा है, तो देते हैं लोग वोट। अगर आप अच्छा पॉजिटिव सोशल वर्क करेंगे तो पब्लिक, छोटा सा छोटा आदमी आपको दुआ देता है, आपके पीछे खड़े रहता है। जब ये पॉलिटिशियन के साथ होता है तो सामाजिक कार्यकर्ता के साथ भी लोग जुड़ के रहते हैं, उसको सपोर्ट करते हैं। और यही हमारी आज तक की सोशल हिस्ट्री रही है कि जिन्होंने समाज में अच्छा काम किया है उनको लोग याद रखते हैं। केवल आवश्यकता है कि इन लोगों को रिकॉग्नाइज करना, उनके कार्य को जनता के सामने लाना। टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया ने ये सोशल इम्पैक्ट के माध्यम से इन सब लोगों की स्टोरी लाने की कोशिश की है। इसको दिल से मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं और जो लोग अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं उनके भी उज्जवल भविष्य की कामना करते हुए मैं उनको बहुत बहुत बेस्ट विशेष देता हूं। थैंक यू वेरी मच। नमस्कार।
After the minister's visionary speech, industrialist Uday Kotak delivered the keynote address.
One of the finest innovations India has done. 2% CSR contribution by corporate India for building a sustainable country. It is a unique thing in most parts of the world. None of the developed countries have a concept of a 2% CSR contribution. Most of the developed countries fiddle with the tax rates, but here I give credit to the government over time for bringing this in and building CSR as a direct allocation of resources by business to society rather than going to government and from government to society. Government has figured out that in many ways responsible business can allocate resources much better than probably government itself can in terms of the social impact and the economic outcomes of that. 30,000 plus crores a year is CSR, which Indian business is contributing. And I look forward to the time when we all sit here and celebrate this number from 30,000 plus going to 100,000 crores.
In a special address, Mr. MP Ahmed, chairman of Malabar Group, shared his inspiring vision for the future.
സോഷ്യൽ ഇമ്പാക്റ്റ് സമ്മിറ്റിന് നിർദ്ദേശവുമായി ടൈംസ് ഓഫ് ഇന്ത്യയുടെ പ്രതിനിധികൾ ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടപ്പോൾ വളരെ സന്തോഷത്തോടെയാണ് അതുമായി സഹകരിക്കാൻ മലബാർ ഗ്രൂപ്പ് തീരുമാനിച്ചത്. ഇന്ത്യൻ മാധ്യമരംഗത്ത് 2 നൂറ്റാണ്ടോളമായി വലിയ യശസ്സോടെ തലയുയർത്തി നിൽക്കുന്ന പത്രമാണ് ടൈംസ് ഓഫ് ഇന്ത്യ. വായനക്കാരുടെ വിശ്വാസമാർജിച്ച ആ പത്രവുമായി മലബാർ ഗ്രൂപ്പ് വർഷങ്ങളായി സഹകരിച്ചു വരികയാണ്. ESG ചട്ടക്കൂടിൽ നിന്നുകൊണ്ടാണ് പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്ന കമ്പനിയാണ് മലബാർ ഗ്രൂപ്പ്. ESGയിൽ പെടുന്ന എൻവയറമെൻ്റൽ ആൻഡ് സോഷ്യൽ ആൻഡ് ഗവേണൻസിനോട് ഞങ്ങൾ 100% പ്രതിബദ്ധത പുലർത്തുന്നുണ്ട്. എല്ലാ കോർപ്പറേറ്റുകളും ഈ മാതൃക പിന്തുടരുകയും ജനങ്ങൾ അതുമായി സഹകരിക്കുകയും ചെയ്താൽ സമൂഹത്തിൻ്റെ സാമൂഹിക സാമ്പത്തിക മേഖലയിൽ വലിയ മാറ്റമുണ്ടാകുമെന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ഉറപ്പുണ്ട്. നമസ്കാരം, ജയ് ഹിന്ദ്.
After the special address, the event kick-started with a dynamic panel on Tech for Good, exploring how innovation is solving real-world challenges.
So, Mr. Tyagarajan, first starting with you, I know lots happening in the cooling solution. The world is heating up. You're trying to cool it, and hopefully there are no unintended consequences as you cool the world. So maybe some examples in terms of what's happening that is innovative and also around the energy efficiency, which obviously is a big theme.
Unfortunately, the air conditioning technology is 100 years old. For the benefit of the audience, it is known as the vapor compression cycle. So this vapor compression cycle based heating or cooling is a 100-year-old technology, and that continues. The good news is that the energy efficiency has been increased. As you can imagine, in a country like India, which is the fastest growing market for air conditioning with over 19% CAGR, and between now and 2030, the load on the grid or the carbon footprint will be 400% of what it is today. So we need to find solution. That is where we are.
I think we are starting to see something very nice as an inflection point where on the digital public infrastructure and physical, digital, financial, social connectivity, you can actually create very, very large scale solutions that touch the last mile. And to me, I think the purpose of technology, when you say technology for good, that doesn't mean it has to be complex technology. The technology has a good technology is not complex. It actually is something that simplifies things for people. If technology can reduce the cost of being poor, then it is good.
After this panel, a thought-provoking fireside chat explored waste as a resource and how environmental crises can be transformed into economic opportunities. After this insightful session, an engaging panel on India's climate movement showcased how innovation is driving sustainable growth in the country.
I think using philanthropy as a means to fund innovative solutions in climate is something that we represent, in the fact that through our journey with Naturey, we've funded innovative solutions on urban forests. So we've built a forest in Mumbai called the Nest, where we've talked about how we need to convert parks into forests, and that really helps the environment. We've prototyped it with this small park in Mumbai. We've prototyped artificial reefs, where we've actually invested our money in an innovative solution and installed them again in Mumbai and Worli. And we've also built a large regenerative agriculture project outside of Nagpur, up to 1,500 farmers, cotton farmers, that we've converted end-to-end to build regenerative cotton. So those are the case studies.
Do our governance frameworks, whether the law or the implementers, can they enable innovation in climate? Now, are there examples of this happening at different levels of government?
Now, process-wise, in a federal structure like India, where you have multiple political arrangements, institutional arrangements, the process needs to be very, very inclusive when it comes to implementing any kind of climate policy. Now, in the last 2 decades, ever since the National Action Plan for Climate Change was introduced in 2008, what we see, there are many states across the country, they have come up with very, very innovative ideas to address the emerging climate challenges. And I work in the field of forestry sector, land and forest resource, and someone following the forest policy in the country, India has introduced one of the most progressive legislations in 2006. That is called Forest Rights Act 2006. For the first time, this act recognizes the pre-existing rights of forest-dwelling community members who are very central to the forest ecosystem, as well as addressing the increasing carbon sequestration problems we have in the country.
After this riveting panel, a fireside chat highlighted how Indian consumers are embracing sustainable choices. Following the fireside chat, the spotlight shifted to a vibrant panel of young achievers, each carving their own path to create meaningful change. From innovative startups to grassroots initiatives, they showcased how the next generation is driving social impact in their own unique and powerful ways.
If we started to prioritize thriving communities, if we started to prioritize circular economy, growing forests beyond just our quarterly profits, that will make a difference.
Water is something that everybody needs to live, that plants need to grow, and it's so basic, and it's such a basic amenity that everybody deserves to have it. And in New Delhi, pollution has always been a problem. I mean, we're one of the most populated cities in the world. And I thought, why not solve it at the grassroots level?
In an insightful session on steering the change, rethinking corporate governance for impact, thought leaders shared their perspectives on driving meaningful change in the corporate world. The evening resonated with harmony during Sahakriya, a captivating performance by award-winning violinist Sunita Bayan and her ensemble, celebrating creativity and collaboration through music. The evening also celebrated excellence with 4 prestigious honors awarded across diverse categories, recognizing remarkable contributions and impact. Day 2 of the summit began on an inspiring note with a keynote address by Mr. Amitabh Kant, former G20 Sherpa, Government of India.
I'm truly delighted to be a part of Times of India's Social Impact Summit, which is a summit, a platform for us to recognize and amplify the transformative work being done across India and beyond. The opportunity to reimagine CSR as a strategic driver of growth and social good is huge, it's tremendous, it's important. And what we do in the coming years through the CSR fund will really shape the future of responsible business. It'll shape the future of India. It'll transform lives, and it'll transform outcomes in several sectors of India. And therefore, CSR funding can have a huge social impact. It can have a huge impact on the growth story of India. And all of you together can make this a Viksit Bharat and help ensure that India is able to become a $35 trillion economy by 2047. But with that $35 trillion economy, transform the life of every citizen of India. And that only CSR funding can do. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
After the inspiring keynote, the spotlight shifted to a thought-provoking fireside chat where experts debated how to ensure sufficient, safe and nutritious food for all.
Food is a right for everybody. From 1993 onwards, we keep it aside a certain percentage of our profit for CSR activities and all those things we do. We spend it in different activities. It was post-COVID. We have realized that there are a lot of people on the street because of losing their jobs and many reasons need the food. I mean, they are going to the bed without a one-time meal a day. So we started in a small way, starting with 1,000 meals in the streets.
Now it's time to head into a panel where leaders shared how truly inclusive communities can be built to drive lasting social change.
When the system doesn't work by itself, what do you do to nudge it along? You can't fix it in a day, but you can definitely nudge it in a direction.
Yeah.
Shareholders will look out for themselves, always, rightfully. And then you bring in a CSR law and suddenly, over 10 years, unlock more than 1 lakh crore, where the same shareholders are spending on things that they would not have ever cared about themselves. And today, if you go and actually figure it out, most people, yes, there is a mandate, but they also spend because it is turning out to be good business. It's certainly turning out to be good perception. It's also turning out to be good business, right? So a small nudge, which actually sustained because it made sense.
In an impactful fireside chat on cancel patriarchy, speakers explored bold steps towards advancing financial independence for women and reshaping gender narratives.
What do you think are the most persistent patriarchal norms or systemic barriers that continue even today to limit women's financial independence and participation in leadership roles?
If you look at it, the first thing is that women are expected to actually, take care of the families versus their own aspirations. So I think that is the first, if you ask me, that's the first barrier. The second barrier is that, when you look at, ages 19 to 24, the NFHS data shows that 26% of the women actually got married before the ages of 18, which meant that they couldn't complete their school education and they don't have economic opportunities, right?
We also think two norms that are constantly keeping women back. One is this, that women are seen as not equal. Men are going to take the decisions and women are not going to take the decisions. This is one thing. And the second thing that is coming again and again is that women cannot handle money.
The day continued with an engaging panel on rethinking CSR in public health, where experts discussed how preventive, inclusive, and scalable approaches are shaping a healthier and more resilient society.
You can build any number of good treatment centers, and we need to. But the problem of healthcare will not get addressed by just building very good treatment centers. Unless our efforts at prevention make an impact, I think ultimately the mortalities will not reduce, morbidities will not reduce.
According to WHO, every 100 rupee that is spent on prevention saves 1400 rupees in future treatment costs. And by 2030, NCDs are projected to account for 75% of the deaths in the country. So if you look at our healthcare spending, about 1.5% is going into communicable diseases and about 0.5% into non-communicable. Whereas NCD is accounting for about 63 to 65% deaths. So, there is a misalignment here. So CSR can bring in a transformational role in this. They can correct this imbalance.
As the summit progressed, an insightful panel on education brought together thought leaders to discuss how education empowers individuals and accelerates social progress.
We still have 47 million, as per estimate, students who are not enrolled. So students of the age group who need to be in school are still not enrolled in school, and that's an initiative you started way back. Maybe it'll be interesting for our audience to hear a little bit about that experience and what have you seen working?
As the education side is concerned, it all started when we started the Hunger-Free World program. We found that a lot of children is coming for food in reaching in the early hours. Around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, when we go with the food, people are there, and they are not accessible to any schools or anything. So what we thought that we will have a makeshift arrangement in the same places. It may be under the bridge or in the areas where these people are concentrated and all those things. We will keep a place there and we will appoint a teacher from their own proximity, and with the help of that community, their own community, we will talk to the people there and we will make them to come daily to classes, and the teacher will give the basic things to these kids.
Students have now started choosing companies based on what CSR activities they are doing. They are looking at the brand, that if this brand competes and supports the first generation learners, let me join this organization versus some other. So that is going to be a new change which we are seeing.
In terms of initiatives in the front of education, I recall a period of time way back in the year 1979 when one of our divisions, we call it as HL Koraput division, we had at that point of time in the year 1979 built or constructed a school for the tribal villagers. It was in a place called Dimriput village. It's located in Koraput district of Odisha state. It was basically for the tribal villagers, and from then on, if you see prior to the legislation, what HAL has done is we have adopted 6 tribal villages.
The summit came alive with a heartfelt fireside chat featuring Dia Mirza, celebrated anchor and environmental advocate.
Sustainability as a word, it's become cliched now. Everybody understands it. But we would like to understand from your point of view what it really means.
Well, unfortunately, you're right. Sustainability is an overused word that not everyone who uses it understands the meaning of entirely and honors the meaning of that word. I think, to me, what sustainability means is that we have one planet that we call our home. It is our provider. It has finite resources, and at the current rate of consumption, the way we are producing, the way we are consuming, and the way we are wasting, we will need 2.5 planets to be able to provide for this relentless consumption.
The summit also marked the release of a comprehensive white paper capturing key insights and actionable strategies for social impact. The summit concluded on a celebratory note, honoring excellence with 8 prestigious awards across diverse categories.
I think the mainstream media needs to cover a lot of innovation which is happening in the space. It can be in the space of policy, in government implementation, as well as in not-for-profit.
Sometimes you don't have a skill set and competencies to deliver the program. So you need to call for experts who are there in the field to enhance the impact of the program. So collaboration in terms of skill impartation, social audit, and other areas has to be there in collaboration.
I'm just really happy that Times of India is making this effort to continue creating engagement on social impact of, just helping bring more industry leaders together to help drive better partnerships, collaborations.
Times of India is one of the leading brands and is able to bring, all the stakeholders together. So be it policymakers, be it government, be it fundraisers, or the implementation agencies and the think tanks together. So I think an organization like Times of India putting the weight behind it really makes a big difference in terms of getting stakeholders, sharing ideas, and also coming up with new ideas.